They say this will be the last coffee maker you ever buy. Does that mean it will last forever? Or something a little bit more sinister? Aside from a couple small features, this iteration of the Moccamaster has remained virtually unchanged since 1974. And as the world changes around it, you kind of begin to wonder, is it just going to live forever? Is Techniform ever going to update this? Or did the mad scientists there just create the perfect coffee making monster back in the 70s? You begin to ask yourself, is this coffee maker Give me that knife. All right. Now, full disclosure, this unit was sent to me by Moccamaster last year. It was not sent for a review. There was no expectation of a review, and my thoughts are my own. And this thing has a mind of its own. Now these are very high quality, made by hand in the Netherlands. Still to this day, there's a copper heating element in here. You put the water in here, it's heated by the copper, which is a great material. Comes up through this arm here and into the coffee bed right here, where it drips into the pot. One of the things that sets the Moccamaster apart is this pulse brewing method. So the water will kind of come up and go into the coffee in pulses. And what that does is it allows for the coffee to bloom, even though it might not have a specific bloom phase. The hot plate keeps the coffee between 175 and 185 degrees Fahrenheit. And the thing that sets the Select model apart specifically is this little switch right here that allows you to toggle between a half pot and a full pot. And that's more than just the amount of water that you put in the carafe. What that switch actually does is it modulates the brew time, so that if you have a half brew going, it extends it out over a longer period of time, giving you a perfectly extracted cup of coffee, just as if you were brewing a whole pot. It's also the only electric drip coffee maker that I'm aware of that's in the Museum of Modern Art, so there's that. And some of the plastic parts feel a little flimsy, but that's kind of what you would expect from a 1970s design. And even then, it's kind of in a this is who I am sort of way. It's retro on purpose. It shows up on your doorstep, absolutely full of charm, and it asks to be let in. And if you let it in, well, let me just say, it might be the very last coffee maker that you use. The only thing that I'd love to see a little bit of improvement in is this shower head right here. And that's because it tends to focus a lot of the water in one specific area of the coffee bed when you're brewing. Personally, I'd love to see a little bit of more even distribution in the way the water comes down onto the coffee. But the question is, does this make a good cup of coffee? Well, I have to tell you that you don't sell a virtually unchanged coffee maker for over 40 years if it doesn't make great coffee. In fact, this is a Gold Cup Standard SCA certified brewer. SCA is a Specialty Coffee Association, which basically means it brews to a really stringent set of parameters that is difficult to meet for coffee makers. It's super fast, and because of this wedge-shaped dripper right here, it gives you lots of round, full body, lots of big body, big flavors in your coffee, because that coffee is it comes in and it gets nice and immersed in the water with the design, rather than a more flat bed where you can get a little bit more clarity but a little bit less body. So it makes fantastic coffee. Now, I think we actually need to now make a cup of coffee with the Moccamaster. And while I do, I'm gonna help you answer the question, is this coffee maker for you? Well, I have one question for you. Do you like it? Do you feel like you want it on your counter? Because if you do, there are hundreds of thousands of people who would agree with you. And yes, it does make an excellent cup of coffee. Is it the perfect coffee maker? Absolutely not. Every coffee maker has its compromises, this one included. There are a lot of coffee makers out there that use fancy tech to do lots of interesting things. This one is dead simple, designed to last forever and look great while it's making you a cup of coffee. And it does all that. So let's try the coffee. It's delicious.